Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This, my friends, is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. Good morning to everybody out there. Hope you're having a fine morning. Traffic wasn't too bad. Coming through about 6:30 through the city of Jack. Hopefully all the drug dealers, strippers, and Dodge, Charger, and Challenger drivers are staying off the roads this morning, and let all the good, God-fearing, normal folks make it to work safe before they get out on the roads doing all of their shenanigans. I don't have high hopes for that, but here's to wishing. The Guns and Gear text line this morning, if you want to communicate with the show, 769-241-1944. I'm in here solo this morning, so I will lean heavily into the text. If you want to get yours read on the air, today is a great day to do it. The phone line, Mazda of Jackson phone line, is 601-879-0002. Circling back to Guns and Gear real quick. They're open today. They're open tomorrow. They're open Saturday, just like they are every Tuesday through Saturday. Get over there, see them today. You know, they're battling the fight against big tech, Facebook, Meta. They have deleted their social media platforms again for doing nothing more than legally selling guns as a gun store, which is allowed, in fact, on Facebook. However, they must somehow, some way know that my good friend Hunter is a Trump supporter, and he posted those Let's Go Brandon billboards all over town, and they're punishing him for it. Punishing him by keeping him in Facebook jail. So just because you don't see them in a social media presence doesn't mean they're not there. They're proud supporters of WYB and the Clay Edwards Show. So let's make sure that we let them know we appreciate them. Get out there, Highway 51 north at Yandale Road, right next to Boo's Smokehouse Barbecue. And get by there, buy a gun, buy some Freedom Seeds. It's the home of No Limit Ammo. They can take care of all your Cerakoting and gunsmithing needs as well. If you got some guns you want to sell, maybe you purchased one too many, but we know that's not a thing, so that's probably not realistic. But say maybe you inherited something from an estate, or you need to help somebody clear out an estate, sell some stuff. Holler at them first, man. Let them put a number on it for you. And if they put a number on it, they'll most likely buy it from you too. Guns are also accepted on trade-in, because why wouldn't they be? They sell new and used guns. Common sense, my friends. Check them out online, gunsandgearms.com, or even better, stop by, go see them in person. They keep the air as cold in there as I do at my house when I sleep. So if you see me back there on a cot, mind your own business. I'm absorbing some of their air conditioning instead of my own. That's Guns and Gear. Again, if you want to text the show, 769-241-1944. And we are already off to we got a text here from my buddy Chad. Let's see what Chad has to say here. First thing. It says, I'm going to pistol whoop the next person that says shenanigans. Get the brooms. Get the brooms. I got to have a long conversation with my daughter about the value of $1. She has now cost me $35 in the last 12 hours between food and gas. She had $11 in her checking account. She wanted a taco or a burrito or something. She asked me to send her $20, which I did for some reason. Then she DoorDashed a $5 burrito, which now has turned into a $20 burrito. And then she informs me that she didn't have any gas in her vehicle to get to work this morning. So I've now had to tell her where my little honey hole of $1 bills and $5 bills are at the house so she could get gas money. And something tells me when I get home, my little honey hole, what is left of it, will no longer be my little honey hole. And I'm going to have to move that money to the safe too. Yay me. These kids these days. She got off of there's times I'm a good father, and there's times I really question if I've made some mistakes or not. She came over to the house the other night. She gets off at the downtown Brandon exit. Keep in mind there's a Taco Bell at the downtown Brandon exit for the sake of this story. She gets to the house about 15, 20 minutes later. She's like, oh, my food just got here. Will you grab it from the door? Yes, princess. 22 years old, can't get out of the bed. I go to the door, I get the food. It's, you guessed it, Taco Bell, a burrito. I'm like, Kylie, why didn't you stop at the Taco Bell when you got off at the exit? Because I didn't want to go through the drive-thru. It's time for a valuable lesson in the value of $1 with my child. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I was reading a text message as we went on the air, and I wanted to get that off my chest. Are any of y'all dealing with the same thing? Do y'all do the same thing? But we had a great food delivery sponsor on this show for a long time, and I try to support them as much as I can. But I've quit eating fast food, and if I'm going to eat out, I'm just going to go eat out, or I'll get it to go. I'm not paying the tax on food delivery anymore. I mean, I'm not, never say never. But, you know, I'll tell you what really hit me was when a $13 pizza cost me $30. I was like, you know what? This ain't worth it no more. For Clay. Now, if you're sitting at the house, you've been drinking, you don't need to drive, all that, look, that pizza's worth $100 to keep you off the roads. It's priceless. But if you are, if you're sober and you're just being lazy, get up and go get that food. Shout out to all my food delivery drivers out there. Still love y'all. Let's see here. Nothing new on the text machine. All right, I want to jump into a story here. This is developing, and I'm going to have some follow-up on this later today on my social media. I got to run down to Hattiesburg after the show this morning on a sales call. But after that, when I get back, I'm going to break down some body cam footage that I anticipate having. WAPT is lying about the Rankin County Sheriff's Department, in Clay's opinion. This is my opinion for now. I anticipate it turning into fact because I just happen to know how these things work. I can look at the particular demographics of the man involved. I can listen to the tone in his voice, and I can just say it right now. Shenanigans. We got some shenanigans going on, and Ross Adams ought to be ashamed of himself, but I believe he, too, is of that same persuasion. They like to flock together and defend one another, and I'm not even talking about black. Let's listen to this. Let WAPT tell you the story here, and I'll give you Clay's opinion on how this is going to unfold as the day progresses here. Let's see. The title of this is College Professor Claims Rankin County K9 Officer Violated His Civil Rights. But I tell you what, that damn George Floyd and that damn goon squad have caused more unnecessary nonsense for police than we could have ever imagined.
And I'm a little bit surprised that this is going on in 2024, that so many black males on the highway are being...
Chesley Talley accuses Rankin County K9 officer Tony Shack of violating his civil rights and attempted assault. Shack is the same deputy named in a federal lawsuit where he allegedly let the dog bite a man's leg, feet, and thigh.
I was driving 5 miles less than the posted speed limit when I saw blue lights behind me.
According to Talley, his complaint stems from a June 26th traffic stop on I-20 eastbound as Talley traveled from Texas to Atlanta, Georgia. Talley says Shack told him he pulled him over because the rental car he was driving crossed over the white line. He says Shack backed off that claim once he realized the car's lane assist was on, which stops the vehicle from veering over the line.
He did not do a field sobriety test. He did not write me a ticket, and he did not write me a warning.
So let me get this straight. So he figured out what the problem was, and he let you go. Explain to me how that's a violation of one's civil rights. You know, also, I don't want to speak for all cops, and I'm going to let this video finish here in a second, but y'all know how I do. If I don't narrate in the middle of it, I won't remember what part I wanted to talk about. We'd have to listen to it twice. You know damn well that if you're behind a car, unless it's a Dodge Challenger or Charger or some Nissan Altimas, you don't know the race of the person driving the car. It's just like, there's an erratic driver, let me pull them over. You pull them over, again, I'm not a trained police officer, never have been. Most likely, never will be, but hey, never say never, Capitol Police. I would love to come save Jackson. We had to discuss money, though. Anyway, this guy's full of crap. But let's continue.
But he did ask me to get out of the car.
What we're not going to do is get in an argument roadside. Okay, no, we're not. Okay, because I ask general questions.
No, that's none of your business.
Okay.
The sheriff's office released body cam video of the traffic stop, which lasted 40 minutes. A spokesman says it shows Deputy Shack never touched Talley or searched his car, and that he acted within applicable constitutional standards. Talley is a professor at a university in Texas. He says Shack interrogated him about why he was going to Atlanta, what hotel he was staying in, and what he does for a living.
I told him all of those questions were inappropriate, and he shouldn't ask me those, but he insisted that I should answer.
Talley says when he refused Shack's repeated request to search him without probable cause, he says the deputy accused him of smuggling drugs.
And he gave me a list of 9 or 10 different drugs and wanted to know, did I have those in the car? Did I have marijuana? Did I have cocaine, fentanyl, and other drugs I never even heard of before? And I said no, and I'm not going to answer any more questions.
According to Talley, Shack then threatened to bring out the K9 to search his car.
And I said, no, you're not going to do that. You have to have probable cause to take out that dog to search my car. And he wouldn't back up. He said, I'm going to search your car.
Stand over to the side. I don't want you to get bit. Let me make.
Now, you don't get to tell them that they don't. Furthermore, the dog most likely wasn't going to search the car. The dog was going to walk around the car. And if anything pinged, if the dog caught anything, then that is your probable cause. This is for the record.
Sure you don't have any weapons.
No. You're not going to search me.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't aware that you could just tell cops to kiss your butt on the side of the road. No, you can't ask me that. I'm making notes over here like, okay, act gay, check. If we can pretend that we're man or woman or both, I can pretend I'm black, check. Act like this is a violation of my civil rights, check. All right, let's continue.
After his interaction with Shack, Talley says he learned about the Rankin County Goon Squad, 5 disgraced former deputies and an ex-Richland police officer.
And there it is. There it is. Couldn't get through a 3-minute video without talking about the Goon Squad.
Now serving time in federal prison related to the torture and beating of 2 black men. Well, what are you hoping to get out of this?
Awareness for the public that when they see black males on the side of the road being pulled over by a policeman, they should question themselves as to why is the black male always on the outside of the car. If you're being pulled over for a minor traffic violation, you should be given a ticket and then allowed to go.
Because there's a particular overwhelming majority of folks in this country who refuse to act right on traffic stops. Is why that particular demographic of individuals is always on the outside of the cop car. Now, if anybody wants to come and gather around one day, I will give y'all play-by-play on how to get out of a traffic stop alive and free. And both. It's real simple. Y'all know how this goes. You don't F around, you don't find out. Continuing.
That was 16 WAPT's Ross Adams reporting. The Rankin County Sheriff's Office told us RCSD has procedures by which deputies are held accountable for any improper or unlawful actions. In this case, however, Corporal Shack's actions were in accordance with existing state and or federal law. Well, Talley said that he was told Deputy Shack did have probable cause to search him because the deputy thought he didn't have auto insurance, but he never asked to see proof.
So here's what we're going to find out when the body cam footage, the full 40 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, body cam footage gets released today. I'm going to do a play-by-play video when I get back home of the entire thing, and we're going to compare it to the notes we have here, and I'm speculating we're going to find out there was a whole lot of lies from this alleged rainbow supremacist on his way to have a good time in Atlanta. That's what we're going to do on my end. Because since a lot of the other local media won't stand up, especially our mainstream television media, like to perpetrate lies and make the cops all look bad, we're going to stand up for them like we've continued to do since the day I founded this radio show. First Monday in February 2021. It's why we can criticize bad cops here and good cops still like us and support us. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to support good cops like Tony Shack and his K9 VOODOO, who, thanks to them, we have issued tons and tons of effed around and found out championships to willing participants that thought they was going to get away from VOODOO or Tony Shack and the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. Let's take a break. Phone lines wide open, 601-879-0002. Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, lunch downtown Jackson today. Old Tavern on George Street. It's Fried Fish Thursday. They do the same plate lunch on Thursday and Friday. The fried fish is so popular, they've expanded it to 2 days a week. You can't beat that. Get down there, see them. Fried fish ain't your thing. Try the Cajun pasta, the burgers. They've got y'all know how I love fried cheese. They've got a hand-battered fried pimento cheese fritter. That's kind of like a cheese ball, basically. Apparently they call cheese sticks fritters up north in the Midwest. Up above the Mason-Dixon, they're called fritters. We call them cheese sticks down here. Anyway, get by there. Try it today. Phenomenal. Look, it's safely located right there in the Capital City Improvement District. Capitol Police patrol it heavily. You'll probably see them in there eating lunch. They get a Blue Line discount. Did y'all know that? Cops, first responders. Did y'all know you get a 15% discount at Old Tavern every day? That's right. Stop by. Grab lunch today. Always fresh, never frozen, locally sourced from farmers markets and farm to table. Everything made from scratch, even the comeback and the ranch. That's right. Get over to Old Tavern today. Tell Shannon Clay sent you. All right. You can find them on Facebook, too. Old Tavern on George Street. And look, let's just be honest. Some places call themselves a tavern. They're not really a tavern. This place is a tavern. I expect to see old barmaids in there in like the OG barmaid uniforms. It's so much history there. So much music history. Stevie Ray Vaughan played there. I could go on and on and on about some of the legends that have performed live in that building. Afro Man, as he was coming up before he blew up. So many more. I'm sure everybody's got a story. North Mississippi All-Stars. I'm sure everybody's got a story about somebody famous they saw at George Street back in the day. Go take a step back in. Get into the nostalgia. Nostalgia is a good thing. It's fun. All right, let's take a phone call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Good morning. This is Buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I want to talk about the Rankin County Police and police in general.
Me too.
These folks get stopped are smart mouths. They've watched the video, and they know their rights. I've been stopped. Even as a teenager, I had a car that was flashy, that had pipes on it, that attracted police attention. Back in Jackson in those days, there was one rock and roll station, and it was WRBC. That's what I played. I played it loud. Well, when I got stopped by the police, I had the old push-button radio. I'd punch it over to the country colonel, and I'd get real subservient and real small. Right now, I go through roadblocks. When I pull up to a roadblock at night, I put the inside lights on my car. When I pull up, I have my hands on top of the steering wheel, and I stick them out. And the first thing I tell that police officer is, look, I got a CCW and I got a gun on my hip. I hand him my driver's license, my proof of insurance, and I say, yes, officer, and no, officer. And they're going to ask questions. That is a point of interrogation that they ask just, General, where are you going? And by law, I know you don't have to answer that question. But sometimes they get a lot of information. There's a lot of drugs coming out of Texas. And the only thing I can see is this guy doesn't have one of those great shirts they printed that says, "I can't breath." Also, I'm surprised he wasn't hollering Attica and rolling around on the ground and telling they killed him. Now, I had an interaction with the sheriff's office this week myself. I had a non-emergency call. I called them. This is Rankin County. Within 15 minutes, they were at my house. And they treated me in a courteous manner. But these guys walk up on cars in the middle of the night. They don't know what's going on, and they don't know when they're going to get shot. And I have never been mistreated by a policeman in my life. And I have been caught speeding. The last time I got caught speeding, I don't mind telling you, this was on the Natchez Trace, and I was doing 80 miles an hour on a motorcycle. And he let me go because I talked correctly. Now, and one thing I want to cover about something about the police. In Jackson, this check-in service stations all sounds well and good. But I had to go to Clinton the other night. It was about 9 o'clock. There were two things, 9 o'clock at night. And I had got behind the Jackson police car, and he's got the blue lights, just on solid. It's like, "Hey, guys, I'm coming. Hide till I get by." And also, the service station bit. I'm going to quote Tim Wade, something got to be dead. I had to go to Madison the other night, and I jumped in the first vehicle, and I've got a niece that doesn't always do right when she drives the car, and it was sucking air. So I got to Beasley Road, and I said, "There's a key there. I'm going to pull in and get gas." I pulled in and pulled right out and decided I'd just risk running out before I got to Ridgeland and before I'd stop in there. And that's not all I got, except you keep giving them hell, brother.
You got it, brother. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the call.
Right.
Always love when Buddy calls in. He doesn't pull any punches. And y'all know I can respect that. Yeah, look, man. Let me quote Kim Wade. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You get pulled over. I know I'm preaching to the choir out there, but every now and then we get a knucklehead like Snowball or Thomas listening that think everything that happens to them is because they're black, not because they don't act right. So you get pulled over. Here's the deal. I got a car with dark tinted windows. So first and foremost, I'm rolling down all four windows. Just so you can see clear lines of sight. I ain't hiding nothing. I ain't doing nothing shady. I got my hands on the wheel or kind of like both hands on the door and just kind of looking up at you. Conversation, my hands always in sight. At that point, I'm going to tell you I'm getting my license. My phone, my insurance is on my phone now. I'm getting my phone. I'm going to show you my insurance if they ask for it. I'm going to let them know, hey, I got a firearm. It's over here. I'm not going that direction. Cool. We good. Yes, sir. No, sir. Let's roll through it. If you ask me I got drugs, hell to the no. I ain't got no drugs. You're welcome to look. I ain't got no drugs. Where am I going? Well, I'm straight, but I'm going to a football game in Atlanta. I know Atlanta's like the transgender national capital of the world. I think I check enough boxes. You can look at me and tell I ain't into that. Clay ain't gay. Anyway, I'm going to answer the questions. I'm either going to thank them and apologize if they give me a ticket, or I'm going to thank them and tell them how much I appreciate them if they don't. And I'm going to go on about my business. And if it's Rankin County Sheriff's Department, I'm going to get down the road a little bit, and I'm going to try calling a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey, got a ticket. Can you help a brother out? And they're going to call that officer. They're going to say, hey, you pulled over a buddy of mine. How did he treat you? Respectfully? Disrespectfully? He's going to say respectfully. He said, well, can I get you to pull that ticket? And he's going to say yes or no. If he said that I treated him disrespectfully and I showed my butt on the side of the road, my buddy's going to call me back and say, don't ever ask me to do you another favor again. I just looked like a fool calling to try to get you out of that after you were rude to that cop. But rarely, if never, because of the way I act when I'm in the car, and I ain't been pulled over in a long time, mind you. But, you'll go through a checkpoint every now and then or whatever. Rarely, if ever, have I been asked to get out of the car. Unless there's two people in the car. Then they'll try to kind of separate the two people. And I get that. That's just law enforcement. Let's read a couple of your texts on the Guns and Gear text line. Daddy ain't gay. And just ain't about that life. I might not even go to Atlanta. Atlanta's just like Jackson, but maybe Mississippi State makes it to the SEC championship game. That's about as likely as me going to Atlanta. But if they do, I would go to Atlanta if they made it to the SEC championship game again. You know who's never been to the SEC championship? Ole Miss. Anyway, shots fired. It's football season almost. Shots fired. Egg Bowl Twitter's back. Let's make Egg Bowl toxic again. Shout out to Tony Young. Let's see here. Unknown texture says, sounds like Chris Rock needs to put out another instructional video on how not to get shot by the cops. Man, not getting shot by the cops has got to be the easiest thing in the world you could possibly do. The easiest thing in the world to not happen to you, to prevent happening to you, is not getting shot by the cops. I mean, I can think of a lot of hard things in life. But one of the things that I don't stress about at any point in time throughout the day is, I sure hope today is the day I don't get shot by cops. But you know who I am worried about getting shot by? People at Jackson gas stations, or the people that shoot people at Jackson gas stations. I'm way more concerned about those Joe Biden, Chokwe Intro Lumumba voters than I am getting shot by a cop in any way, form, or fashion. Let's take a call here. Hey, brother. Good to hear from you, man. You on there?
Hey, Clay. I want to add one more thing as far as conduct when you get stopped.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if many people think about this, but if you get stopped at night, turn an interior light on so that when the policeman's walking up to your car, he can see what's going on in the car.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That kind of goes in with my... That kind of goes in with my rolling the windows down thing, too. Yeah, so good point.
Oh, yeah, roll down the windows, turn the interior lights on and keep your hands on the steering wheel. And if you take your hands off the steering wheel, tell them, look, I'm moving my hands for this reason. And just that kind of courtesy, even with Jackson police, will go a long way. I mean, I know one time I ended up, because my eyes were getting bad, it's dark, and ended up going from a 2-lane road to a 1-lane road. Didn't realize it. So here I am going in the opposite direction. They stopped, hit the blue lights, tell me what to do, and they said, look, my eyes are bad. They said, fine, here, just, turn around here and go this way to get back out of downtown Jackson. I said, I really appreciate it. It's just like you said, in anything, how you treat someone else is how you'll be treated. You act like a ASS, you're going to get treated like one.
100%, brother. 100%.
Hey, one more thing I'd like to add to this whole thing about Jackson convenience stores being a source of the problem. That just shows the mentality of our leadership. I was even watching a Matt Walsh video the other night, and he lives in Tennessee. He was talking about the stupidity of Jackson, how saying a convenience store is a source of the problem. Now, if the convenience store is selling drugs or, doing something immoral or illegal, yeah, shut them down. But just because the illegal activity is happening in their parking lot, that's not their fault. I mean, they need to go after the ones who are committing the illegal activity. But instead of blaming it on and going after the perpetrators, they're going after the location. That makes no sense. No, I preach it to the high heavens. Look, there's a lot of these gas station owners that aren't running good businesses, and they need to be handled. But at the end of the day, no matter how bad of a business they're running, there's nothing they're doing inside that building that constitutes people shooting one another outside. The fact that the people feel like they can shoot at each other and, just complete lawlessness, break in houses, cars, or whatever, and they can get away with it. I work for a utility. We have to deal with stolen copper all the time. You would not believe the stories I could tell you about the Keystone cops of Jackson in stolen copper.
Oh, no, yes. Look, if there's any human being on this earth that would 100% believe and could probably tell you a few also, it's me when I had my nightclub, my 3-story nightclub downtown, and had the copper. The AC units were on the roof of the 3rd floor, and the copper running down the side of the building, stolen during the summer twice in 1 month, cost me over $10,000 and got LOL'd basically by the cops. So, yeah, I could tell you some stories about copper and Jackson.
I mean, they just don't care about solving anything. And if they would just focus on crime and stopping it. And, and I know like David L. Archie likes to talk about white flight and racism. Money goes where it feels safe. They can do whatever they want to revamp the city of Jackson. But if money doesn't feel safe there, it ain't going there. It's leaving.
Exactly, brother. I got to take my break, man. Great call.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. To that point about David Archie getting on Kim Way's show the other day, and I like David just fine. And I'm not even saying I won't support David in an election, depending on who, what, when, where he's running for. But I'm going to say this. To accuse people that don't want to be around crime of being racist is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a human being in my life say. No, instead of, how about y'all act right? How about y'all act right? And frankly, I think it says more about what black folks think about black folks when they get mad at white folks who say they don't want to be around crime, and the first thing y'all think of is, oh, well, you must be racist. So you're telling me it's black people committing the crimes? Let's take a break. Text lines jammed up. Bunch of good texts. I want to read them. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by Lakeland Glass and Tint. Get over there, see them today for all your windshield repair and replacement needs. Per usual, my brand new car already got a little crack in the dang windshield. I'm going to go over there and see if they can save it from expanding. I went years without getting a crack in my windshield. And my last car, I got a new windshield. Next day, one of these a-holes driving one of these trucks with the dump beds without anything over the top, he insisted on going 90 on I-20 instead of getting in the right lane. Anyway, I digress. Broke my brand new windshield. I said, screw it. I ain't buying another one. I ain't doing it. And I didn't. I traded that car in with the spider web of a windshield. New car. I heard it the other day. I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I'll be over at Lakeland Glass and Tint tomorrow, I imagine, trying to get that fixed. But here's the great deal. You buy a windshield from them, you get a free rot peck repair card. So if you have a little crack or a peck, you just take it, you give them that card. It's good for a one-time free repair for the life of that windshield. That's only good once, so you don't get it back. You don't get to use it again. Hey, maybe you don't need a windshield, but you want to do business with a great locally owned business. Maybe consider window tint. You know you need window tint. Paint protection film. Maybe you want to turn your vehicle into a rolling billboard. Get it wrapped. They can do that. Maybe you just want to change the color of it without painting it. They can do that. Or maybe you want to get the ultimate protection for your paint and clear coat. Expel ceramic coating. They got you covered there too. Check them out online. Get a quote today. LakelandGlassandTint.com. The windshield and glass repair building is on Lakeland Drive, right in front of Red Arrow. Everything else is done right there at the campus across from River Oaks Hospital Emergency Room, or Merit Health, whatever it's called now, on Flowwood Drive. Let them know you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, we got about 3 minutes for our break here. I want to read a few more of your texts. You guys have been on fire this morning. Man, it's always funny, the topics that get people fired up. Let's see here. Unknown texter says, I've been pulled out of my car every single time I've been pulled over because of the way my car looked, with dark tinted windows, car searched every time, and I'm white. It's been years since then, but I still get nervous when I see them in my truck, pulled over like a beaten dog. I was always respectful, though. I know what he's saying there. Yeah, hey, look, man, I used to drive my lowriders, and I did not always have the relationship with police that I have now. I did not always have the patience that I have now. You know, look, I've told the story 100 times. I'm not going to I'll give the short version. I had it out with almost had it out with a Brandon cop a couple years ago on private property because he didn't like how I was parked in front of a gas station. And I had to channel my inner radio guy and remember the things I tell y'all. I would much rather drive off from a situation, a disagreement with a cop, feeling emasculated, than I would ride off in the back seat of their car, feeling like I won. And just at the end of the day, you got to pick your poison. You want to feel like a punk, or you want to go to jail. I'm just gonna be honest. I got things to do. Jail ain't on my to-do list. Bragging about getting arrested ain't on my things to do list. Every now and then, you got to bite that bullet. You're gonna get punked out every now and then in life. It's called know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I think that's how that goes. I ain't saying it's pleasurable. I'm just saying losing sometimes is winning. And driving yourself off from a traffic altercation without going to jail, that's winning. Make no mistake. Unknown texter. My windshield got destroyed by one of those dump trucks one time, too. I was able to get a picture of the door with the vehicle ID and the company name. They sent me to the glass shop and replaced it for free. Man, look, I couldn't catch up with this truck. I've never seen one of these guys drive so fast. I mean, where are those guys at 7 in the morning when traffic is bumper to bumper? They're usually going 30 in the fast lane. Unknown texter on the Guns and Gear text line. The best way not to get pulled over is not to give them a reason to pull you over. But they never want to acknowledge that. They never want to acknowledge that they got pulled over for a reason. Hey, look, first off, Tony Shack's on the interdiction team. They handle a lot of interstate drug traffic. They have a little different protocol. Now, I don't know this to be 100% fact, but I just know that they're looking for things that seem fishy. Texas plates, for one. I'm not saying they pull over everybody with Texas plates, but look, a lot of dope from Texas to Atlanta, to the East Coast. That guy was from Texas. It's just little things they look for. Tony's not a regular. The interdiction team is there for a specific reason. It's to catch drug traffickers. It's not necessarily just to pull over speeders. The overwhelming majority of these massive drug busts that Tony and VOODOO get, I mean, I know y'all heard about that bust a couple of weeks ago with a couple 100 pounds of methamphetamine in a truck. That was because of a traffic violation. Dude can get over it. Just flat out get over it. You walked away. Your car didn't get searched. And we're going to prove later, that you're a liar, allegedly. We'll be right back to land the plane for hour one. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Coming up in hour two, we only got about a minute here. I got a whole lot of audio to play you guys concerning Tim Walz. And how about J.D. Vance, man? I mean, just some of that BDE. I'll let y'all Google what that stands for. Just to roll up on Kamala Harris's press corps right in front of Air Force Two and be like, well, since she won't answer any questions, Big Daddy Vance will. I thought that was his coming out party yesterday. I thought, welcome to the main stage, J.D. Vance. So we got a ton we're going to hit there. Hillary Clinton is trying to defend old Tampon Tim. We got some of her comments there. And like I said, got a lot of audio. I think they have really, really screwed the pooch here, picking Tim Walz. But, hey, that's what's bad for them is good for us. Also, didn't get to talk about it much yesterday, but Rep. Cori Bush, squad member, not only lost her primary, she's also lost her mind. We got so much to talk about. We're going to try to get to all of it. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We got a whole another hour to go right here on WYAB. Hey, guys, be sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Go search my name, Clay Edwards Show, wherever you download podcasts, stream music, and more. Hit the subscribe button. See an episode. Share it with a friend. We'll be right back. You're tuned back in. It's hour two of the Boom Shaka Laka Boom. The most incendiary show on the radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We are live on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide and live as well at WYAB.com. Just Go there. You'll see a little button at the top that says Listen Live. And boom. It's just that dang easy. You can also check us out on Alexa and others. Just search WYAB. Podcast, again, always available after the show within about an hour. Just search Clay Edwards Show wherever you download it. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit share. Help spread the word. I'd like to see this thing grow a little bit more this year. We're almost sold out of advertising again. If you got a business you'd like to get on the show, get your message in front of one of the most dedicated audiences in all of talk radio and all of radio. The Clay Edwards Show, the WYAB shows in general. We got it right here. Most people set it and forget it. 6 a.m. every morning. And they don't even use the other dials on their radio. That's dedication. Whether it's Matthew Bishop from 6 to 7, me from 7 to 9, an array of different hosts from Chip Matthews to Mike Madison and Chris Davis in the 9 to 10 hour, Jameson Haygood from 10 to noon every day, Charlie Kirk, Dana Lash, is that her name, Dana Lash? And, of course, Kim Wade. And we got more great shows coming. More great local content is in the pipeline here at WYAB. Local sales. It does. People love local. So we talk national, like we're fisting to do now. But first, Mazda Jackson. Check them out today. The deals are hot this summer at Mazda Jackson. You already know that. Mazda is one of the top 5 most dependable car brands out there, and Mazda of Jackson on I-55 Frontage Road has hundreds of new and used cars available. Check out the brand new CX-5 crossovers, rated 9 out of 10 by Car and Driver. The CX-30 and the CX-90 SUVs, both rated 9.5 out of 10. I mean, that's as close to perfect as it gets. If I had a girl in my life that was a 9.5 out of 10, I'd be the happiest man in the world. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway, they're in stock at Mazda of Jackson now. And don't forget, Mazdas include a lifetime powertrain warranty. And ask about Mazda of Jackson's special financing deals going on right now. It's time to choose Mazda. Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson, and online at MazdaofJackson.com. Go holler at my boy Grady Portera over there at Mazda of Jackson. Grady's a listener of the show. I worked with Grady for years. Richard Connor over there, too. Good folks. Richard used to own the Midnight Sun back in the day. Maybe some of y'all might remember that. They're both at Mazda Jackson, good folks. But, hey, man, whoever catches you on the lot, they'll take good care of you, too, at Mazda of Jackson. All right, man, so the Democrats have gone full. I know apparently there's this new mandate that they're not allowed to say retard anymore. I guess Democrats have gotten so offended because they're usually mentally challenged that they're trying to outlaw words again. Retard is now apparently as bad as the N-word. Not on the Clay Edwards Show. We will not be standing for that. If you are truly mentally challenged or you have children who are mentally challenged or anything like that, we're not talking about y'all. You know, I had to say this a lot of times. It's like all the nut job school teachers out there. Let me rephrase that. All the non-nut job school teachers out there. All the non-rainbow supremacist gay folks out there. When y'all hear me talking about these idiots, you know I'm not talking about y'all. All the bad cops out there. When I'm talking about all the good cops. You know, when I talk about the bad cops, when we talk about the goon squad, we're not talking about y'all. Same thing here. Rarely, if I call somebody a retard, am I talking about somebody who's legitimately mentally handicapped. I'm talking about Democrats being stupid. If that offends you, I'm just going to tell you, there's a lot more that's going to offend you. This is probably the wrong show for you. I love you. Let's split amicably. It's not you, it's me. I've heard that recently. It's not you, it's me. Let's just have an amicable split. But the Democrats have chosen to go full retard with this Walz selection here, and because he is, in fact, full retard. Let's play a couple things. First off, this is him bragging about his stolen valor. I know my boy Corey would not take that. He'd have been and snatched him up out his boots for lying about this kind of stuff.
Walz did make a comment speaking to a group. He's done it a couple of times where he has used language that has suggested that he carried weapons in a fighting situation. As you know, with your contact with the military, I know from coming from a military family, there is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved at a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you. There is no evidence that at any time Governor Walz was in a position of being shot at, and some of his language could easily be seen to suggest that he was. So that is absolutely false when he said that about
some of his language is just absolutely lying. And here's J.D. Vance's response.
When the United States Marine Corps, when the United States of America asked me to go to Iraq to serve my country, I did it. I did what they asked me to do it, and I did it honorably, and I'm very proud of that service. When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him, a fact that he's been criticized for aggressively by a lot of the people that he served with. I think it's shameful.
I think it's shameful, too. And I won't tell another man what he should or shouldn't do. If that's the decision you choose to make it. You got to do what's best for you and your family. The part that I find shameful is he continues to use the rhetoric that he played with guns in war, insinuating that he was in battle. That's the insulting part. You know, if his contract was up and he was able to step away and he didn't want to go, I can't fault you for that. I'm just going to be 100 with you. You know, I don't know that right now that if I got drafted by this country that I would want to go fight for this country. I wouldn't fight for this leadership. I just wouldn't. Not my war. I'm fighting my battle here. My war is with this country, not for this country right now. But that's just Clay Edwards talking. Let's see here. If y'all want to chime in this morning, the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We got a bunch of clips, man. This stuff's just pure insanity. The Democrats have, in fact, gone full retard. Hell, even the National Guard has come out and disputed Vance's claims about his military biography. Let's see, this story's from Newsweek. I haven't proofread the whole thing, but I did see the headline. Let's see here. It says, the Minnesota National Guard is disputing Governor Tim Walz's military biography, saying the Democrat vice presidential candidate did not hold the rank of command sergeant major at the time of his retirement. So he's even lying about what rank he was. What a shame. Army Lieutenant Colonel Kristen Agua, the state public affairs officer for the Minnesota National Guard, just told the news on Wednesday that the governor did not retire as a command sergeant major in 2005, as stated on Minnesota's official website, but as master sergeant because he did not complete additional coursework at the U.S. Army Sergeants Major Academy. A soldier who does not complete the requisite coursework is automatically demoted according to Army regulations. You know, that would be like me. I'm going to make a really bad analogy here, but I can only use my real life experiences. That'd be like me when I was the used car manager at Great Daniels Ford. You know, I've got a little distance between me and that job. Nobody would know the difference. I was the general manager. That's right. Yep, I was the general manager. Who's going to know the difference? Oh, except all the guys that I worked with there that still work there. You know what I mean? Anyway, they're liars. They're liars. They're racist, too. And, of course, they're racist. And they're liars. They're white Democrats, so you know they're racist. It's their thing. Let's see here. Just look. And here's another. Talk about going full retard. Here is a MSNBC contributor talking about Walz. He says, here's an older. I'm just going to let y'all hear it. I hope you're sitting down. I hope you got both hands on the steering wheel. Because I'm about to drop a nuke on you right here. This is from End Wokeness on X.
The significance of this man is that he is an older white man in a moment in which the far right is trying to convince white people that the future is treacherous for them, trying to convince men that the future is treacherous for them. And here is an older white man, a coach, a soldier, who is very hard to dismiss as some kind of effete coastal elite, who is telling older folks and white people, you do not need to be afraid of the future. There is joy in the future. There is joy in having your boss be a black woman. There is joy in what is coming. And I think he is going to teach lots of people, in addition to whatever role he plays in an election and in the White House, he's going to teach lots of people through his role in the culture that they're going to be okay and that there's joy on the far side of realizing a multiracial democracy in this country.
No. Now, y'all can imagine, I know I have the benefit of seeing this video and seeing what this cuck looks like. Y'all can imagine what this guy looks like that's spewing this. He looks like I don't know, he looks half Asian, half black, half Cocker Spaniel. Look, isn't this the same thing they tried to do with Joe Biden when they made him Obama's vice president? They needed that older white man to connect to the white racist, older white racists in the Democrat Party that just weren't 100% sure about voting for a black cis man, the first gay president, Obama. I mean, didn't they just try that? And obviously, Obama got 2 terms. It must have worked. Joe Biden obviously reaches out and communicates well with other old white racists. They trust Joe Biden. He's their guy. The crime bill of the 90s, not wanting his kids to go to a racial jungle school, busing, segregation. I mean, Joe Biden's their guy. He's their champion. Also, let's look at crime in Minnesota under Walz. Because this is all stuff I feel like matters to middle America. When I say middle America, I don't just mean the blue wall states. I mean normal, blue-collar, middle America, dinner table politics. Things that affect our day-to-day lives. Because, if you live around Jackson, crime is real. Crime is real. It ain't just a statistic. It affects your everyday life. You have to plan what gas stations to go to and not go to and what time you got to be out of the city. Jackson is a sundown town. Parts of it. For white people. That's a fact, Jack. I will fight you in this studio if you try to convince me otherwise. There's parts of Jackson, particularly south, that are a sundown town. Not just for white people, but for anybody who ain't about that life. So crime is real. But here's the crime. Here's crime under Walz watch in Minnesota. From 2019 to 2023, homicides up 50%. Motor vehicle theft. Am I looking at Jackson here? Up 163% under Walz watch. Assault offenses up 8%. Robberies up 9.5%, almost 10% in 4 years under Walz watch. How do Democrats continue to fail forwards? This is like they found the white Chokwe Lumumba and said, you have done such a good job destroying Jackson that we've got a bigger job for you, or Minnesota. We need you to destroy America. Do you think you can do it? Free the land! Free the land! I can do it. I can do it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you our friends over at Pure Air Consultants. For over 40 years, Pure Air Consultants has been delivering exceptional cooling systems to Central Mississippi. They want to remind you that consistent, expert maintenance on your system improves your indoor air quality significantly. It will also help your system operations improve their efficiency by 20 to 40%. have an increased useful life, and have fewer failures. Be sure to check out the residential HVAC maintenance plan that Pure Air Consultants proudly offers. If you have any questions or if you'd like to sign up, contact them today at mypureairconsultants.com. That's mypureairconsultants.com. Ream, a new degree of comfort. All right, guys, I want to shift gears a little bit. We're still going to talk about Walz some. If you want to chime in, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. Mazda Jackson phone line's wide open. We've had a couple great calls this morning already. 601-879-0002. Lock that in your phone. Hey, also, just an FYI, you guys are allowed to text me 24 hours a day. I do not mind at all. I try to reply to texts or whatever, but my text line only comes to this show. Now, it does not bother me at all when y'all text Darren Jameson or Kim or Chip or anybody else's show. I'm not complaining. I just want you to know that only I see those. Sometimes I try to pass the screenshots along. Ain't always able to do that. Some of the other shows have their own text lines. Some don't. So just FYI. I get that a little bit. I think I got it yesterday from somebody during Kim's show. So I've tried to encourage everybody to, because people like to communicate. But, hey, everybody's show is their own show. And I'm not going to tell anybody else how to run their business. So I want to do like kind of a rapid fire here for the next 30 minutes. I got a bunch of little topics I want to hit, and I think you guys will enjoy this. I want to try to incorporate this more. I'm a big fan of Andy Frisella's show, and they do a segment called Cruise the Net. They kind of hit a bunch of stories, give their opinions on them, in about 5-minute intervals. So all good ideas have been stolen from somewhere. I'm going to call it rapid fire instead of cruise the net, because I don't want to just straight up swagger jack what they're doing. but I do like it. Here's Joe Biden basically telling you there will not be a peaceful transition of power if Donald Trump wins. Again, doing exactly what they accuse us of doing, threatening democracy. I wonder what Ashton Pittman thinks about this over at Mississippi Today, or Mississippi Free Press. Does he think Joe Biden is an insurrectionist? A pedophile? All these things are dang near factual, allegedly. Here's Joe Biden threatening insurrection.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all.
All right, let's listen to that one more time. This is on CBS Sunday morning. Again, the sitting president saying if Trump wins, there will not be a peaceful transition of power, because they know all these SSRI-riddled, left-wing, retard nut jobs with their bottom surgeries and their hormone blockers, particularly testosterone blockers, are going to lose their ever-loving minds and start burning down black neighborhoods again. Here we go.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all.
If Trump loses. First off, if Trump loses, there won't be a transition of power. You're just handing the keys to Kamala. Trump is just a citizen. He has no say-so in the transition of power if he loses. Now, we do. And I can't make any promises about what will or won't happen. I'm not a decision maker in those things. I don't know who is. Anyway, let's finish.
He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. It's have to be a stolen election. Look what they're trying to do now in the local election districts where people count the votes. They're putting people in place in states that they're going to count the votes. Right?
Okay, try to make sure y'all ain't stealing another damn election. You're damn right we're going to count the votes. You're damn right. Joe Biden finally said something truthful. He actually spoke two truths in this interview. He said that if Trump wins, they're not going to peacefully transition power. And he said they're going to try to count our votes. Why would they do that? What have we done to deserve to not be allowed to cheat?
right? You can't love your country only when you win.
So that's Joe Biden telling you there's about to be an insurrection. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all think I'm being hyperbolic. Y'all think I'm kidding around, just saying wild things because I'm on the radio. Some of that's true. I'm kidding. Enjoy the next few months of normal, of what's left of America. I'm not so confident we come out in November with that same normalcy. And how long it takes to get that normalcy back, if ever, I don't know. Enjoy tailgating in the Grove and the Junction or wherever else you enjoy college football at for the next couple of months. Enjoy Friday night football, pulling for your favorite high school, watching your kids play. Enjoy church on Sundays with your family. Enjoy your lunch dates, your dinner dates, your family time, your friend time. I'm not so sure that this country survives what comes after November 5th, regardless who wins. I ain't trying to be a doomer. I ain't trying to be black-pilled here. I call it reality radio. Not just because it's a fancy, it's a fun little catchphrase that sounds good. This is real talk. That's why I went out and I enjoyed 4th of July. Like it was the last 4th of July I was ever going to get to enjoy. Did the same thing Memorial Day. I'm trying to soak it all in. My birthday's next weekend. I'm going to enjoy that too. And if we make it to next year, I'm going to enjoy that one. I'm just saying, man. I don't know that Thanksgiving and Christmas are going to offer those same opportunities post-election. Let's take a break. Got a ton more to go. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. This is necessary. That's what it's officially necessary time. Breaking those rules, as they say. Quick, before we jump back into our rapid fire segment. Hope you guys made it out to Parlor 1886 Tuesday night for Taco Tuesday. Now it's Thursday. Let's start getting ramped up for the weekend. Let's get over there. Let's visit Parlor 1886 right here in downtown, as Chip Matthews would say, downtown Flora on Main Street, Parlor 1886. It's more than just a bar. It's more than just a restaurant. It's Flora's living room. It's Flora's meeting place. It's kind of the town square inside. You can enjoy sitting at the bar, get a cold drink, get some food, appetizers, main courses, all that good stuff. You can sit at the tables. You can do the same thing. Enjoy the live entertainment 2 nights a week. Check out their Facebook page, Parlor 1886, for a full schedule of live entertainment. Or, man, you just want to chill, sit at the couch. It's just like you're hanging out in your living room. They got that option, too. Cool place. We're really excited to have them on as a sponsor. Don't forget, every Tuesday night is family night with a unlimited taco bar and free refills on soft drinks and sweet tea. Of course, they got full liquor for the adults, beer, and whatnot. So check them out. Parlor 1886, Flora's living room, right there on Main Street, right next to Railroad Pizza, man. Some more great folks, supporters of WYAB right here. I'm going to drag them onto this radio show one day, kicking and screaming. Anyway, check them out, Parlor 1886. All right, I told you rapid fire. Let's keep this thing rolling. Here's a story that I've been following for a while. This is a political story necessarily. Y'all may remember, this is from Colin Rugg on Twitter, another great follow. If you're not following Colin Rugg, you just need to be listening to the Clay Edwards Show every day, because I do. Anyway, this is the mother of a teen. You may remember this teacher, I think it was down in Florida, got viciously beaten by this black kid. And everybody said the fact he even got arrested, white teacher, by the way, the fact he even got arrested was racisms. You got to put an S on everything. It's racisms. Well, Brendan Deppa was just sentenced to 5 years in state prison and 15 years probation for attacking the teacher who took his Nintendo. And it's one of the most vicious beatings I've ever seen caught on tape. And his adoptive mother of the teen who beat the teacher unconscious says he was sentenced to 5 years in prison because he's black. She's white, by the way. He should have got more than 5 years. I agree with her. Except I would have added the word only 5 years because he's black. Because what he did was attempted murder. He tried to kill that teacher. Here's a little video, a little audio for you guys, and I wish you could see the video. I'm going to go ahead and retweet this because you need the visual to go along with this. But here is the judge reading off the sentence and his foster mother or adoptive mother, whatever Karen's name official title is.
The court sentences Mr. Deppa to 60 months of Department of Corrections.
Oh, keep in mind, this kid's 6'6", 300 pounds. Just so you know, 6'6", 300 pounds. You know me. I'm 6'3", 257. I consider myself a big old boy. I ain't out beating up women.
Followed by 15 years Department of Corrections supervised probation. When he goes to the reception center, I'm directing that the DOC conduct a full mental health assessment, putting him on the mental health caseload.
Brendan has, he's had a hard life. He started out as a foster care baby who struggled, and he's felt abandoned by his birth family, and he felt abandoned by us when I sent him to South Carolina.
Well, I mean, that's it. The baby felt abandoned, so let him beat his teacher within a half an inch of her life for, I don't know, wanting him to pay attention in class. Give that baby a free pass.
He struggles with autism and behavioral issues. But other than that year where we had just extreme chaos from medical stuff going on, I was able to manage Brendan because I knew Brendan and I knew his triggers and I knew his needs and his strengths. And I beg you to let him come home with me.
All right, so I have a healthy dose of compassion and respect for people on the spectrum, whether it be autism, Asperger's, or anything else. I understand that. I worked with a guy, and I kind of had to learn how to deal with somebody with Asperger's on obviously a lesser scale. I get it. I actually had a long conversation about this with a friend of mine heading up to Neshoba the other day. We were talking about, I actually enjoy the company of people with Asperger's and autism because you'll never meet a more honest person in your life. They are incapable of telling a lie. They're incapable of sugarcoating anything. It's like, hey, buddy, do these jeans make my butt look big? Yes, they make you look fat. Everybody needs a friend that will be honest with them. Hey, buddy, what'd you think about today's show? Pretty good, huh? Nope, sucked. Got it. I'll do better next time. We all need truthful friends. That's why I try to keep the friends around me and keep my circle tight like I do. I want people who will tell me the truth, not what they think I want to hear. So, anyway, I'm not picking at this guy because he has autism. Mama shouldn't have let him take his Nintendo to school. You know, that would have been a good place to start. But neither here nor there. It's everybody's fault but his. Let me go ahead and hit retweet on this now. This is @SaveJXN. It's the most recent thing I've tweeted. Y'all be sure to follow me while you're over there. I haven't been as active the last few weeks. I'm getting my mojo back. We're getting fired back up, getting social media fired back up. My YouTube videos will be back posted tomorrow. I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and she said, hey, look, I don't listen to the show no more. A, because I ain't waking up at 7 o'clock, and B, because why ain't it on YouTube? I was like, well, YouTube don't always agree with the things I say. She said, well, clip it up. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to effort putting the show back on YouTube. When I get off the radio, I'm going to go here and twist Matt's arm, put him in the figure 4 leg lock, and see about getting that webcam in here so we can start streaming this thing again. But that aside, I'm efforting YouTube. All right. Let's set a few more stories here real quick. I did a ton of show prep last night. It's almost like any, mini, miny, mo. Where do we want to go? Did y'all see this? This is a couple days old now. Here's a veteran who says he only receives $23 a month in food stamps, while a migrant in the community reportedly had a $13,000 balance. I don't care what your politics are. If this don't piss you off, we ain't the same. Me and you ain't cut from the same cloth. If this don't make you want to run down to the border right now and create Operation Human Shield, start keeping these folks out of America.
A migrant, okay, an immigrant, left a receipt in the store. And you know how I got the food stamp remaining balance at the bottom of the receipt, right? $13,500 with a $5,000 cash, Larry. Okay? Migrant, somebody that's not from this country. Now, you are a veteran, and you've also served this country, correct?
Correct.
Now tell these fucking people, okay,
All right, sorry, I probably should have listened to that first. I think I got the beep in. This is an older black fella here, a veteran for our country, fought in wars for our country, got $23 in food stamps, while that damn migrant getting paid more than I am to do this radio show just for being here. Y'all tell me what's going on. Y'all tell me they're not trying to flip the vote in this country. What do they call it? Race replacement theory? Black folks, the Democrats are replacing y'all with migrants. Boy, that'll get you fired up. All right, here's another story. I wanted to make sure I got this one in. And y'all be sure to find me on YouTube later today at SaveJXN or on X at SaveJXN. I'm going to be doing a complete breakdown of that first story from this morning about the black guy that got pulled over in Rankin County that he said was he made up a bunch of lies, that it was a violation of his civil rights, all that. We got the body cam footage, going to have the full body cam footage. We're going to break down all the lies that were spewed in that video by Ross Adams at WAPT. And I hope that Ross Adams and WAPT get sued left, right, up, down, sideways, and back and forth for disparaging Tony Shack. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, here is a Rep Baskin telling us, he says, it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. We need bodyguards for everybody and civil war conditions, all because of 9 justices won't do their jobs. So this is basically him warning Americans that they're going to disqualify Trump from being president regardless what happens on November 5th. Give me 2 seconds. Every time I open up a new link, I have to reset the volume. That's the issue. All right, here we go.
Because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody and civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job.
So that's a state rep right there in Washington, D.C., preparing us that they're not going to certify Trump. Let's tie that back in to Joe Biden. I think we got time here. Let me pull it back up. Let's tie that right back in to Joe Biden telling us there will not be a peaceful transition of power. Here's this.
Confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025.
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all.
I'm telling y'all, get you a bug out bag, get you an apocalypse posse together, get you a crew of people, call it friends, call it family, call it militia, call it whatever you want. You're gonna need it. Get you some, find your prepping friends that you've been laughing at for the last 20 years. If your grandmama's still living, she knows how to can stuff. She knows how to preserve food. She knows how to use them mason jars. And you wonder why that food don't never go bad? I'm telling you. You need to go hang out with them people. You need to go tap into their knowledge. Say, hey, how do I do a bug out bag? Where can I go? What can I do? How do I know I got enough food? What can survive there not being any power that I can just open up and eat for the next 10 years? They ain't so crazy now, are they? We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, guys, thank y'all for tuning in today. Kind of tweaking the format a little bit. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I thought it was a heck of a show, personally. Let's land the plane with letting you know where the best blue plates are in town and around town today. Downtown Madison, Flowwood at Dogwood, and downtown Brandon, you got Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. The blue plates on Thursday are red beans and rice with sausage, or hamburger steak, or country fried steak with mashed potatoes, corn, and green beans. If you're not going to be near one of those, maybe you're going to be in downtown Jackson. Maybe you're going to be out at Livingston. How about our good friends over at Martin's? Check out the all-new Martin's at Livingston, and, of course, the legendary, iconic Martin's downtown location. Today's plate lunch, blue plate of the day, is pot roast, Mississippi pot roast, with an array of different sides for you to choose from. And, of course, we already told you about Old Tavern on George Street. Today is Catfish Thursday. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate all the sponsors supporting this show. Make sure you're subscribed to me across all social media outlets at SaveJXN, from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok to Facebook and any other one that I may not, an X that I'm not thinking of. I will be doing a live stream later today for about an hour. Y'all be sure to tune in. Hit subscribe, set up the notifications so you know when I'm going live, and it should be a humdinger. We'll be back tomorrow with Sean Yerkeron here in the studio. Stay blessed, stay safe. Peace out.